Noodle asks, how do we meet? And well, we've known each other a very long time. Tim and I met when we were 11 years old at summer camp. We went to an arts camp in northern Michigan called Interlochen. At the time, it was mostly thought of as a music camp, but I went there mostly for visual art, and Tim went there mostly for theater. So I guess you could see the future of us doing making the wrong things. Instead, we were supposed to go be musicians, and instead we were being visual artists. And it seems like apparently that keeps happening. He and I met there, and Andy, our original guitarist, and I met there several years later. Andy Duncan also went to high school in Washington, D.C. And even though we met at summer camp, we spent more time together in high school than hanging out in D.C., where I grew up. So Tim and I were long distance best friends from age 12 forward. Andy Duncan and I were high school best friends for a few years in high school. Then Andy and Tim both went off to college in Chicago, and because they were both very close friends of mine but didn't know each other, I took a road trip with Andy to Kalamazoo, where Tim grew up, with Andy, and the two of them met. They then formed a fast friendship, and when they arrived in Chicago for college, at separate colleges, they started a band. And they met Dan, our drummer, through that band. He was their drummer. That band was called Stanley's Joyful Noise, and I don't remember how they met Dan. I think that he was someone's roommate's boyfriend or something like that. So that was the original lineup of OK Go. It was me, Andy Duncan, Tim, and Dan. Andy Duncan left the band in 2004, I think it was, and we had to scramble for a new guitarist fairly quickly. And Andy Ross, we met through a college friend of mine. We put out a email to a bunch of friends saying, does anyone know a great guitarist who would fit our band? And we got a lot of responses, and Andy Ross was the best.